Earlier on today, we spoke about people, and we've got one more of our Power Hour sessions to go, which will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. Sydney time, wherever that is for you. And we'll be talking about money and finance, how to increase sales, how to manage your money, and how to build personal wealth. And I can tell you right now, the session tomorrow, if you take the information and you apply it, it will help you to make not just hundreds of thousands, but millions of dollars in returns over the next 10 to 20 years. So make sure that you attend tomorrow's very special training. But along the way as well, we've also been interviewing some of our superstar clients, people that have been through the Business Blueprint program and have achieved phenomenal things. So earlier on, we've had Tina Tower, we've had Brian Chapman, we've had Angela O'Connell Richards, and today we've got a really special person in the name of Colin Frager. So hopefully you've already registered. If you have, all the dates should be in your diary. If you haven't, just go to businessblueprint.com/summit and make sure you get registered so you can attend whatever is still remaining. All right, so hopefully you're attending this in Zoom. If not, then you can follow this link, businessblueprint.com/Zoom, to get into the Zoom room. And if we've got time, you can even ask your question directly to our special guest. All right, so the time has come now for me to formally introduce one of my longtime friends and also a member of Business Blueprint. His name is Colin Frager, and he has an amazing story. So rather than telling you the whole story now, I'm going to introduce him, and we're going to basically go through his story together, and then we're going to talk specifically about how he's been able to double his business for the last 3 years in a row, which is very, very rare. Sometimes you hear about people doubling their business once, maybe twice, but very rarely will people double their business for 3 years in a row. So we're going to get some really good insights as to how Colin has been able to achieve that. So make sure that you listen carefully, take lots of notes. In fact, you'll be learning a specific strategy later on that involves your website. And by making some simple changes, it could literally make you hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional revenue by making some very simple changes. And we'll show you exactly what they are in a few moments' time. So without any further ado, could you please join me in putting your hands together and welcoming to our Business Blueprint Summit, Colin Frager. Thanks, everyone. Yay.
Thank you.
Hey, Colin.
Hello, Dale. Hello, everybody. Great to see everyone.
Now, you just celebrated a pretty big milestone a couple of days ago. Do you want to quickly share what that was for everyone?
That was just the first interview question. Dale's revealing my age. I turned 40 a couple of days ago. So, yeah, it was a big milestone, and very grateful for everything that Business Blueprint and the community has done for me in the last 10 years, which I'll be sharing with you today. So hope you get a lot out of it.
Yes. Now, we actually met more than 20 years ago. So we've known each other for a very long time. And we're going to go through a whole bunch of questions here. So I'm just going to jump right into it if it's okay. And this is all going to kind of come together. So, Colin, why don't you tell us a little bit about your mum and dad, because they're going to come back into the story a little bit later on. So where did you grow up, and tell us a bit about your mum and dad and what they do for a living.
Yeah, sure. Grew up in the Blue Mountains, just west of Sydney in Australia. And my dad actually was a fifth generation farmer. And he was the first of 50 cousins that he had, first cousins. He has 50 first cousins to get an education and to get off the farm, which was a great career in itself, but decided to head in a different direction. He's a town planner. And so I grew up around the dinner table talking about property and what business clients were doing. And my mum was a banker as well. And so, yeah, grew up in a great home and set me on a good foundation.
So your father, Max, he was a town planner, and he then worked in council for a little while, but then left council and started his own business. I think it was 25 years ago, right? Your father took that step and became an entrepreneur. So, so I suppose you kind of grew up in the family business in a way.
Yes. I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it takes a lot of courage, I think, to get out of council and a local government job to be an entrepreneur in a way. But he was a one-man consultancy with my mum. I always remember them having this huge box doing the GST every quarter, trying to figure out the BAS before it was all automated, and that was my life growing up.
So you went to university, finished school, went to university. Tell us very quickly what you studied at university.
Yeah, kind of surprised, I think, particularly my dad when I got my marks for my school. And anyway, I got into law school, went studied law, did a law degree, business, including studying in finance in New York, which was really cool. And then I ended up doing a master's of property development in the property space.
And along the way as well, you started investing in property. So tell us a little bit about that and how and when you bought your first property.
Okay. Yes, this is a great story, which I might not get time to tell the whole story today, but I ended up, I bought my first property when I was 19. It was the worst house in probably the worst street, and it stunk. And I think there was 13 cats or something living in the house just before I pulled all the carpets up. Spent 6 months renovating it while I was at university, just on weekends. And I realized that at the end of that 6 months of doing that project, I'd made as much money just doing that on weekends as I would an entire year once I finished my 5-year degree. And I thought that I was onto something there. So property became a passion. Went from there to buying. I don't even kind of, if I hadn't have experienced it, I don't know if I would have believed the story myself. But for those of you who might have met before, I don't know if I've met too many of you today, but I share the story how by 26 I had 13 houses just by doing some property investment strategies, which I talk about. It was a great experience. I think by 26 I was looking around for something else for a while. I'd had some good success and I wanted to stay humble. I wanted to give back, and so I was looking for the next opportunity.
That's awesome. So just to quickly share that, I know it sounds like a bit unbelievable, but I know this person. I know Colin personally. It is true that by the age of 26, he had 13 houses and was in a really good position. But then Colin's life changed yet again, and you had a bit of, I suppose, you'd say a calling to do something else with your life for a period of time. So having graduated from university as a lawyer and having your business degree as well and property and finance, you decided to do something else. Tell us about what that was.
So I went to Africa for 2 years as a volunteer. I was a Christian-based missionary, but did a lot of not only faith-based things, but also helping Red Cross and various agencies in Africa. It was a very hard move to go away from the business world. I think that we get so focused on business and we forget to give back often. But it was something that I wanted to break that pattern of, and I always had some success for a while and wanted to give back and contribute. I had some kind of, in the context of business, and we're here in a business event, I had a couple of thoughts that I wanted to share with you about my 2 years in Africa. The first was there was two interesting stats with the people that I was with. I was in Namibia. I was in what they call the townships of South Africa. Millions of people living in, as we see or have experienced ourselves in shanty towns. But I was there with them in their houses and experiencing what it was like. 40%. Imagine a community. These are the communities I was in. 40% HIV rates, 60% unemployment. And so when you're in an environment where 2 out of 3 people are unemployed, I would pull up at a traffic light, and there would be a group of 30 men at, by then, probably 11 a.m. in the morning, who were still unemployed for the day. They would see you pull up at the traffic light. They'd run over to you. They tap on your window. They say, "Is there anything you can do? Can we paint your house? Can we come clean your yard? Is there anything we can do?" And that would be their day every single day. Occasionally, a worker would come and 5 people would jump on the back of a ute or a truck and they'd go off. But I think that stood out to me about the importance of business and the impact we can make in the world. That yes, we might be, I don't know where everybody's watching it from today, but in the West, we are talking about the unemployment, the hardest time to recruit employees in 30 years. But that is not the case around the world. And I think the more that we step up as business leaders, the more that we can contribute, the more we can employ people, the better the world can become. Because I think of those people that are probably still there right this day, every day at that traffic light, picking up somebody to work with them. And then, of course, the HIV rate was quite an eye opener. And I thought, being a naive Australian growing up in just a normal middle class home, I thought that the charities have got it sorted, the governments have got it sorted. But for 2 years, I hardly saw one person from any aid agency for 2 years with those people. And it was another eye opener, realizing I need to stand up. I need to live a better life. I almost I've been, as an Australian or wherever you are, I've been given so much that I need to step up so that I can be a greater force in the world. Because if I don't do it, there's people out there in my sphere that won't get help. Not that I'm any better than them, but that was just my experience of wanting to serve.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that story. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling inspired right now. If you're feeling inspired after hearing Colin's story just so far, just type in the word inspired into the chat. I'd like to see who are the other people out there that are feeling inspired by this message. Thank you for that. They're coming through. Lots and lots of people now, Colin, have been impacted by your story so far. Okay, so I know we could talk lots more about Africa, but we need to talk about all of your business story,
yes.
which is amazing. So what happened next? Eventually, you came home, and you actually came home to quite a bit of debt. How did that happen? What was the size of the debt, and what did you do next?
So I'd gone from 13 properties by 26. I thought, I was like Mr. Property, bees knees. So I'd had some success. It was a very humbling experience, but I realized to go to Africa, I needed to let go. And John Maxwell talks about, to give up, you've got to go up. So to go up, you've got to give up. And I had to give up much of what I'd created to be able to fund myself, to make sure that the business that I'd created was funding itself while I was away, the property development that I was doing. And I came back to negative $150,000. That's when you added up all my assets and how much I owed. And I thought, here I am, I've been in Africa for 2 years, and I am actually worth less financially than the people that I was trying to serve in Africa. And that was another eye-opener, thinking, maybe they can't put food on the table, but they're not in debt $150,000. And that meant that I had to hustle. I had to think of creative ways. I couldn't just go into a job. I couldn't just imagine how long it would take to pay off $150,000 if I just had a job. And that's when I'm grateful for this man, Dale, who reached out to me. He and Catherine, his wife, took me out to lunch. They said, tell some stories. And they said, I think they could see that I was kind of a bit shell-shocked from Africa, and I was out of the business world. And yes, I'd had my business experience in law and university, but it was very much theoretical based. And Dale said, I'm studying this thing called Business Blueprint. Why don't you come along and have a look at it? And I've been now part of the Business Blueprint program for 10 years.
Yeah, it was amazing. It's well, first of all, let's talk about a few things there. So $150,000 in debt, because sometimes I meet people and they go, I've got $10,000 or $20,000 worth of debt, and I say, oh, that's nothing, compared to where other people, have been. But you made a decision sort of then and there that just having a job wasn't going to cut it. By the time you earn wages and you pay all your bills and things like that, you might be lucky if you make 10 grand, or 20 grand a year after all expenses. So that's going to take you a long time to pay off that debt. So you decided that you weren't going to become an employee. Instead, you're going to go into business. So tell us about the business that you went into, because that's the business that you've now grown really successfully. So, and then along the way as well, when you are going back into this entrepreneurial path, because we were friends, we caught up, and you decided at that point to join Business Blueprint. So we'll talk more about that in a moment. But tell us about the business that you went into and what happened next.
Okay, thank you. I hope I've got some gold nuggets here for everybody. It's kind of a fun story. So my dad, who had been running his business for 15 years, I saw his business. I thought, okay, what am I going to do? I actually got married about 10 months after I got home from Africa. And my wife and I, our combined income was $35,000 per year. My wife earned $5,000 as a fruit picker, picking fruit in the Blue Mountains in the rain at a specialty farm. And it broke my heart to see her doing that. And I was earning $30,000 a year, basically helping out my dad, just doing a few things on the side. When Dale invited me to Business Blueprint, I said, I need a business to experiment on. This is amazing. The things that Dale shares, I need to implement on something. Just give me anything. I want to do it. And so I said to my dad, I said, famously, I probably should have chosen better words. I said, hey, Dad, I've been going to a lot of Dale's seminars, and I want to turn your business into a real business. And he said, look, what's wrong with my business? Let's put you through your university studies and whatever. And I said, oh, sorry, I mean, like make it more than a one person consultancy. And he said, okay, yeah, let's do it. And I said, I'll give you 2 years, Dad. I wanted not only have I offended my dad, I said, I'm only going to give you 2 years to try and make it work. And that's obviously history. Fast forward to today, and we now have 40 team members, and our business is called Council Approval Group. So Council Approval Group, our mission, our goal is to unleash property potential so that individuals, families, couples can take financial pressure off themselves by extra income through real estate, unlocking potential through subdivisions, or maybe a business owner that needs some sort of an approval to operate their business, and they just got this dream, but they're frustrated by the red tape. So that's what we do.
Yeah, amazing. So we might want to pull up that diagram if you can maybe share your screen, Colin, because when you kind of sort of went into the entrepreneurial world, starting to help your father in his business, it was basically just you and your dad, and you've now grown it. In case you missed it, I'll say it again, to a team of 40 people, 40 people now in the business. So, Colin, if you could just share your screen there, and it's specifically tell us about how evolved, because I can see a lot of people in the last couple of years. So tell us a bit about that, the way that it's grown, especially in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's been an incredible journey. That's not quite updated. There's now some more people that have joined us. I think we've hired about 14 people in the last year, and it's just been during the tough times of COVID that we've had the most success. And I would say this
full screen for a sec.
Full screen. So sorry, thank you.
Yeah.
I would say this to everybody that's here, like you are here in the afternoon, in the middle of a work week, watching this, or maybe watching the recording. And just like you've invested in your growth, and my hat goes off to you that you've done this, because to answer Dale's question, how did this kind of happen? It's all because we have learned through Business Blueprint, and we've applied. We've learned and we've applied. And I think there's 3 types of people in the world. There's the unlearned, there's the learned, and then there's the learning. And we always want to be that latter. We always want to be that third one. We always want to be learning and green and growing. And if you want to have, I always say, if you want to have a better tomorrow, you've got to pay the price today. You can either pay later. You can play now and pay later, or you can pay now and play later. And you're paying the price now to invest in your growth. Some of the specifics, which I'll talk about, maybe if Dale wants me to, talking about websites. How do we drive traffic to our website? What do we do to increase our conversion rates through some fun things we did on our website? What do we do with what we call our Magalog, which Dale taught me, and post, and everything's online. So what do we do through the mail? Things that we've done through our recruitment funnels. Like, how do we, like the last recruitment that we did a month ago, this is in the worst employment conditions and the great resignation, supposedly, we had 250 Australian applicants for one position. And that's because of the funnel that I can show you if you want me to. So that's a little bit of a preview, but hopefully some more gold nuggets coming for you.
That's great, Colin. I want to hear about all of the above. So let's get into it. Maybe we can start with the traffic side of things. So you had a website, and you've done some really cool things with being able to significantly increase the amount of traffic that comes to your website every single day through content marketing and SEO. So tell us a little bit about how you've been able to do that.
Okay, so just in terms of content, before you switch off, SEO, yeah, I think it's boring, SEO, but it's very important. And I'd probably ask you this question, and these are all things that I've learned from Business Blueprint. What are your principal sources of traffic? And do you only have one primary source of traffic that's coming to you? What's the main way that people find you? And I think as business owners, we focus very much on our primary source, but we neglect the other sources. And that was mine, SEO, for many years. It's something that I was always neglecting. I thought it wasn't needed. I always did paid ads. I could get an instant result, and I didn't pay the price to be able to get what I have now. However, Dale put me onto a tool and some resources for SEO, and maybe I can share you a little bit about the results. Actually, this is a photo. Can I share a photo of my family? Is that okay?
Sure, please.
Okay, this is my gorgeous family. It wouldn't be a presentation of mine without showing a photo of my beautiful wife and my 2 kids. And this is us at the Gold Coast. Only last year, we lived at the Gold Coast for 5 months in an apartment, a hotel on the beach during lockdown that was happening around Australia. It just had an awesome, and that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the things that we've learned at Business Blueprint and the business we got it to. Okay, so this is what I want to show you. This is just a graph from a tool that I was taught from Business Blueprint called SEMrush, and it's a great resource. And there's other things and recordings, and I've done trainings on this with the Blueprint community now. But it just kind of shows where we were tracking down the bottom. You can see that graph that's very low. We had about 80 keywords on our website. And then through a series of strategies that we implemented, which I'll show you, we're able to increase that up to about 200, and then 400 and 500, and we're up to about 600 or 700 keywords. And actually, I looked this morning, and this is a screenshot from this morning. We now have 235 keywords in the top 3 of Google in our industry. And everything else doesn't matter because, you never see those other ones, but 235. So they talk about, I heard it described once that, in the Marvel universe, there is the evil dude Xanos. I don't know if you've seen any of Marvel movies, but there's a guy called Xanos. And if he collects all the stones, if he clips his finger like this, then half of the universe gets wiped out. Imagine from a business point of view, if our business is solely reliant on one traffic source. Maybe it's referrals, maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's SEO ads, maybe it's an algorithm update from maybe Facebook's closed down your ad, maybe whatever it is, that finger snap. And actually someone joked once, they said instead of a Thanos snap, it's a Xanos snap, like Mark Zuckerberg snaps his finger and you get wiped out. What happens? And so for me, that's why we went on this journey of SEO. Part of it was, and I'm trying to add value, just not to my story. I want to show you something here. This is what we end up doing with Dale's coaching. We created, that seems like a lot. I can't believe I actually did it. We used this tool to work out what are our keywords. Okay, so nothing new. We know, many of us know what our keywords are for the online space, but we did use the training materials with Blueprint to work out what that was. I then created a question out of every one of those keywords. So say for us, one of our keywords is subdivision approval. So I created a question out of subdivision approval, like how do you get subdivision approval? Then with the resources that were around us, thanks to Business Blueprint, you can see a camera there, and that was me in the studio. And we hit the record button. So someone would yell out the question and they'd say, how do you get subdivision approval? And obviously I know the content, and then I spoke for 3 minutes. Then they hit the stop button, and we did that for 4 days in a row, and we recorded 240 videos in 4 days, which is quite a bit of content. And then each one of those was transcribed, and it was put as a page on our website. So if you go to counselapproval.com.au, that's our website, counselapproval.com.au, you'll see some of these things coming together. Go to the Learning Hub, and there's now over 500 pages on this Learning Hub. And every page has a video, a transcription, and each one of those is optimized based on the keyword. And that is how if I can go back with my slides here, that is how we got to so many in the top 3.
Yeah, amazing. And as a result, traffic to the website has just exploded, and now Colin's not just relying on paid ads, which are good, but like Colin said, they could kind of disappear at any time. So having other sources of traffic, ideally organic traffic that you don't have to pay for, which is kind of earned traffic through content marketing, that means that Colin can now get lots of leads coming into the website for free, and that will continue to happen for years and years and years, which is exciting. So we teach this. If you want to learn how to do what Colin has just done, then that's exactly what we cover through the Business Blueprint program. And what's awesome is as well, we have training videos on how to use like the tool like SEMrush and some of the other tools that we recommend for doing SEO, doing content marketing, setting up your blog, doing video, everything that you need to know, we have covered in our program. So I'll tell you more about that later on. But Colin, I want to jump to the next topic now, which I think is really exciting. And this is where I need everyone to really pay attention. And that's the conversion, because it's great to get traffic to your website, but a lot of people aren't focused enough on how to increase their conversion rate, because if they can increase their conversion rate, then they either need less traffic, or if they're spending money, then they can reduce the amount of money they're spending on advertising and still get the same result. So Colin, please share with us about how you are able to increase the conversion rate of your website. I'd love for you to share the stats and also the amount of money that these changes made you. Go for it.
Okay, thank you, Dale. Okay, if you have a piece of paper in your hand, I was wondering if you could write down this equation. This was taught to me by one of the mentors at Business Blueprint. His name's Greg, and it's called what he calls the coolness factor. And the coolness factor is equal to, so coolness factor equals return divided by effort. So yeah, we all want to make money, but I don't know how much, like we want to grow our business, but we want to go for the ones that are the easier ones with the highest return. So the coolness factor, unless something has that coolness factor, the high return with less effort, then maybe we're not inclined to jump into it. This has a very high coolness factor. This is something we've done in the last 6 months just to show you that knowledge continues to progress and grow in the Blueprint community. I heard a speaker talk about it at an event that Dale ran, one of the Blueprint, and they were talking about split testing. I thought, I've got to do that. It's one of those things I always knew I needed to do. So split testing is when you send, for example, 50% of your traffic, Google, you log in through Google Optimize, and it doesn't take too long. There's training videos through Blueprint if you want it. But you set up 50% of your traffic, say, goes to one version of the website, and then you clone that website and you send the other 50% to that, but you only make one change. You can do more complicated ones, but just for simplicity, you do one change. And that one change could be a photograph on your website, and you split test it, or maybe it's a headline, and you see which one converts at the higher rate. So for example, on our website, if you have a look at counselapproval.com.au, you see the free consult page. People book in for a free consult to talk to us on a calendar. And so 50% went one way, 50% went the other way. And all we changed was a few things. So I'm going to share some slides here because I couldn't believe the results when I saw them. So, all right. So this was our image that I thought was the best. Maybe I was not humble enough and thinking maybe I should put somebody better looking than myself on the website. Anyway, we did that, and that was our best judge. And I think that probably that is the case for most of us. You build a website, you put your best case forward, what you think is going to look the best, and then just leave it there and you presume that's the best based on your intuition and your gut feeling. But I love what this does. It teaches you that the market actually decides which is the best image. I decided to bring in my dad, and there's my dad, Max. Love him, and great man. Learned so much from him. And this was the conversion rate. So if you had 1,000 people visit our website, what's that? 27 would opt in. And with this one, it doubled it. So that was interesting, almost double. It's 83% higher change from just one person to two people. So maybe, I don't know if it was Max's wisdom, his gray hair, or maybe it was the, I don't know, the color of my shirt. You don't actually know what it is, but it was the image. So that was the difference between those two. Then what we did, and this one kind of weirded me out, and I've shared this with somebody recently, and Dale's seen this before, but someone suggested we mirror reverse the image to put me on the left for when you did a website on a mobile device. And that one converted a little bit higher. So I was like, okay, Dad, I still got it over you. And then someone suggested this. They said, what if you put your wife on there? I mean, she's the beautiful blonde. Why put yourself front and center? And interestingly, it went up again, and that image then outperformed. So the difference between where we started, the top image, and the bottom image was 97% higher. 97% higher. So what does that really mean? Like, who cares? They're just numbers. It doesn't really make a difference. I wanted to share this with you I guess, to illustrate why it's of impact. So the business multiplier is something which Dale has taught me through also his mentors and the business community. The business multiplier, so if you have a certain number of traffic times by how many people opt in or subscribe or take a free sample or whatever it is, or have a conversation on the phone, times by the conversion rate, times by the client spend is roughly your revenue. And if you were to hold all of those equal, if you were to have your traffic equal, your conversion rate equal, and your client spend equal, and all you did was change your opt-in rate, what would it look like? Okay, so that's what we did. So by increasing our conversion rate by almost double, was it 96%? We've now got 54,000 more revenue per month and over $600,000 revenue per annum, just because we changed one image. If I was in an audience, I would say round of applause, but I think you're impressed.
Yeah, we are impressed.
Okay.
Let's give Colin a big round of applause. That's amazing. So that's like an extra $54,000 a month by doubling the conversion rate of the website. And it's something that's so easy to do. You can set this up in under an hour. So we actually have a training around how to set up Google website optimizer and how to run these experiments, which takes about an hour to learn, and then it takes 5 minutes a week just to basically go in and see the results, and then if you need to make some changes. But the result in Colin's business has been massive, an extra $54,000 a month in additional revenue. And you're doing some more testing at the moment, right? Are you
Yes.
taking it to the next level?
Yeah, so it goes on to that's dollars, and like it's not about the money, but it's just that, as a business owner, you want to give the absolute best you can to the world. And if it means that if I can help, instead of 50 people a month, it's 100 people a month, or whatever your stats are, if you can double the number of people that you help and serve in the world, the bigger the influence that you're going to have for good. This was another one. There's my beautiful family. I thought I'd play the kid card, and I thought, I got this. It's just a family photo shoot. Cost us $300. Let's try putting this on the actual free consult page. So when you get to this point, people have already gone from the home page to the kind of the opt-in page. So the conversion rate is a bit higher, and the influence is also bigger. But have a look at this. I probably let the cat out of the bag already, but maybe you could put in the chat, which do you think has the highest conversion rate out of these two? Do you think it's the
A or B? The
A
top
or
or
B?
bottom?
Top or bottom?
Or
So
B.
yeah, A or B. So A, Colin and Max. B, the family. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we have it. It is B, and I'll show you by what it is. This again was just an experiment that took us probably 20 minutes to set up, and it took my family $300 to get some photos done, which we used for the Christmas cards. 10.5% was the original conversion rate of this page. 19% of this page. That's 80% higher. So the dollar figures that I gave you before doesn't even incorporate that. That's just like I stopped calculating after that how much extra it brings in. So that was a big game changer for us. So hope that helps you.
Wow, Colin, that's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that with everyone. And hopefully now you're starting to see the value of what you get access to as part of the Business Blueprint program, because all the things that Colin is sharing are things that he learned about at Business Blueprint. How to use SEMrush to do our SEO, content marketing, how to use the power of video as well, how to understand all the keywords, and then of course the recent example there about how to do split testing on your website. That's enabled Colin to double his conversion rate, and now as a result of those changes, that's an extra $54,000 a month in revenue. So you can see it's very, very easy to get a return on investment with our program. Now, you can't possibly learn all of this just in a couple of days. That's the reason why we work with clients over the next 12 months. So it's a 12-month journey we take you through, where we systematically go through and optimize every single aspect of your business. Because yes, we need to do the traffic and the conversion, but then you need to have a good CRM system, and we need to get the website right. So there's a few different components to it. So we can't do it in a day, we can't do it in 5 days, but if you work with us over a year, then we can make magic happen. So with the Business Blueprint program, hopefully you've already know about it, but just very quickly, if you don't, it's a 12-month program. We work with me and my team to help you to significantly grow your business. And as an example, Colin has been able to double his every year for the last 3 years, and is probably on track to double the business again. So I want you to think about the business that you have right now, double it, and then double it again. That's what could be possible for you if you go on this journey. We give you access to everything. I'm not going to go through it all right now, but there's more than 2,500 training videos. I do weekly classes to teach you everything. You get access to coaching, support. There's accountability. have templates, we have checklists, we have flow charts. We basically give you everything that you need, and we put it all into one place, which is the program. Now, if you want to find out more about how it works, you can download and access this very special document that goes through everything that you receive through the Business Blueprint program. So to get access to this document, what you need to do is go to this link right now. This is the most important thing that we could talk about, because without access to continued education, it's going to be virtually impossible for you to try and do all this stuff on your own without the proper help and support. So go to businessblueprint.com/apply. Click on that link right now. We have opened the doors to our program for just this week, and then after that, the doors will close again. And we're onboarding a whole group of new business owners, and I'll be working with them personally over the next 12 months to transform their businesses. So if you want to be one of those people that gets to work with us so you could double or triple your business revenue, then you need to take action now. So go to the link there that's on your screen, businessblueprint.com/apply, fill out the form. Then on the next screen, you can access all the information, and you can also book a time to chat with the team about your situation, and we'll do whatever we can to help you. And as you've seen, the returns that Colin has made, it is insignificant compared to the investment for the program. And the program is already, compared to lots of other programs that are out there, it's very affordable. So it doesn't matter where you are right now, if you're just starting out or you've got an established business. If you take our program and you plug it into what you're doing, wow, you can make so much money. Now, we know it's not all about money. Money helps, but it's really about how do we impact more people, and that's exactly what Colin has been able to do. So, Colin, we want to continue. I know you got some more great value to share. So let's quickly talk a bit about. If you've got time, talk a bit about the marketing dashboard that you've created. That will be interesting, because I know that that's something that you learned through the program as well. Also, your Magalog that you have created. And if we've got time as well, a bit about your hiring system. So if you could do all of that in about 10 minutes, that would be amazing. Okay. It's a big ask, I know. But each of these we could talk about for an hour, and we do through the program. But just give us a couple of quick tips for each of them.
Okay, I'll do that. Before I talk about myself for a moment, I just want to say thank you to Dale for the impact that he's made on my life. He doesn't know I'm going to say this. I don't know how many of you know Dale, or maybe this is your first event with Dale. But there's a quote that I heard once in leadership, and that is that you get the people that you deserve. And as a leader, you get the people around you that you deserve, and whether that's your team that you attract, or the friends that you attract, or etc. And the Business Blueprint community. When you go to a live event, which are now back up and running, or maybe it's an online event like this, the Business Blueprint community, like if you just took Dale out of the picture, everything for me would be worthwhile just by the people that are in that community. They're the happiest, the most kind. They're like everything you wish society was, but it's not. And I don't know why that is, other than because of this man, Dale, because of the goodness of his heart and the people that he attracts. He could easily charge 10 times as much for his program and have a 10th the number of people in the program and make exactly the same from his program. He doesn't do it anymore for that. And I think you heard his vision earlier this morning. He wants to impact 1,000 people and 1,000 business owners and help them. And that's because that's who he is. He loves learning. He loves sharing the knowledge. He loves seeing other people grow. Okay, so maybe I can share a few things with you here. So I wanted to share a thought with you before I go into those things that Dale asked me to, and that is kind of commitment versus talent. So I think many of you here, although I haven't met you, or they're already high achievers. Like, you're already here, you've already got your own business, you're already learning, you've got a lot of talent. And there was a story of a basketball camp and a famous basketball coach. His name, I wrote his name down because I knew I wouldn't remember, Ed McCarley. I did some research on him. But he said to this basketball group that came for this summer camp, he said, "You're all gifted players. You're phenomenal people. You already have so much talent. But one day you're going to meet somebody that has paid the price already, that has paid the price of learning, that has paid the price of commitment and discipline and implementation, and then you're going to lose. Doesn't matter how much talent we have, it's about the implementation And for me, yes, these ideas are helpful, but for me, the biggest thing that I get from Blueprint, I don't know if you've heard it, but every quarter we have quarterly goals. And religiously, we apply those goals. We have 5 goals. We write them down. We give ourselves rewards. We have accountability, A groups, they call them, where we commit to them, report back on them. And so all I've done, like I'm not anything special. All I've done although I've had some great results, all I've done is I've taken the ideas from each quarterly business blueprint conference, and I've applied it. And I've done it again, and I've applied it, and I've applied it, and I've applied it, and just incrementally, like I never knew that I would have 10,000 visitors to my website. At one stage I had 10, but that's only because I've implemented. I didn't know I was going to be able to convert like I can in sales, but that's because I hired a sales coach and had sales implementation from the Blueprint community. So I want to share with you a few thoughts around that then. So maybe some more gold nuggets that I can share with you. The first is the recruitment funnel that we have. So I'm just going to maximize this. This is my team, some of my team at the Gold Coast last year. We had a conference there at the Gold Coast Marriott. And I don't know about you. I know many business owners that I do talk to are struggling to get the right team, keep the right talent. It's a conversation that's in the newspapers a lot in the business community about how do we deal with the shortage of talent. But I haven't experienced that. If you ask me, there's no shortage of talent. As I said, I had 250 applicants just last month at a role, and that's because we've been able to develop a recruitment funnel. And so my question that I have for you, and maybe something to pass on to you that hopefully will bless your life, is what is your funnel for recruitment? When you want to hire somebody, do you just put a job ad up and then that's it, and you hope that somebody will apply? Or do you have something a bit more sophisticated? And this is something that I've learned from Blueprint, and I now share when I am asked to present on it. Not only do we put job ads up through Seek, but we do a few other things. We have organic social, so we put up on our Facebook page, nothing big there. Paid social, yeah, maybe that's interesting. Database is very interesting. So what I'm talking about here, I'm just going to skip through. This is up on Blueprint on the website if you need it, if you are going to be a Blueprint member. We developed this Moby Mag. This is something that Dale trains us, and there's templates on how to do it. It's basically a magazine for your mobile phone. So what we've done is we've done lead magnets. We've taken the best of our marketing ability and focused on careers. So we've had careers-based webinars. We've got a careers-based magazine. And so people that are not ready to apply, they come onto our database for an event or for a Moby Mag. And then when we do have an opening or a new position, then we release it to the database. And a lot of our applicants come from our current database. We also have used things like remarketing, which is fairly easy to set up once you use the training. Remarketing. So anybody who comes to our Facebook ad is remarketed. So anybody who comes to our website ad is remarketed to on Facebook. So they might not be ready to apply, but then they start to see all these videos. We have videos which Dale has helped me with. What's it like to work with us? I won't play it now because we don't have time, but basically it's just an interview with our team, asking what's it like to work with us. So this massively has changed us in terms, like, if you get the right person, this has been my experience. If you get the right person in the team, the rising tide lifts all boats. You get one bad apple and it spoils the whole bunch. We also, all of our jobs, we have videos. Again, this formula, there's actually a science behind what I say in these videos. If you're interested in having a look at this, you can funnel hack it if you want to. Go to councilapproval.com.au/careers. And see one of our job ads there, put in test or something like that. So people that think that you're really applying, you'll see some of the videos that I've got there about the job ad. And that's got a formula about how we do it. And then this was us at an event that we had at our Gold Coast conference. This is a video that's remarketed to anybody who comes onto our web page. So if you come to our careers page, you'll probably get remarketed to this. Sorry about that. Of what it's like to work with us. So we took everybody on a jet ski. And so anyway, that's just some thoughts on recruitment. Make sure you have a funnel. Don't just rely on Seek when it comes up, and use your best marketing for recruitment, and you'll always have the best people.
That's so good. Thank you, Colin. Just very quickly, we spoke a bit about values this morning as part of our workshop that we ran, and you showed a picture of your team there, which was great.
Yes.
But one of the things that you can't really show is you've also got another team in the Philippines, which we spoke about earlier today as well, when it comes to building your team. So do you want to tell us about how you've learned about how to leverage the power of virtual assistants or remote team members, because they're way more than just assistants these days, and how many people do you have in that team, and has that been worth it for you?
It's been a great journey to start with. I thought, why would I have somebody in the Philippines? I remember one of my daddy was like, why wouldn't you want to employ an Australian? And then someone explained it to me, and it was Dale actually. And he said, if you employ somebody in the Philippines, you actually create jobs in Australia. And I think Dale might have mentioned this earlier, but that's been my experience, is that for every Filipino we hire, we probably hire another 2 Australians. Our business couldn't employ today. We have about 30 Australian workers. We couldn't have done it without our Philippine team, because as a business owner, yes, it's nice if we've got lots of money to spend on $100,000 salaries everywhere, but the reality is we can't afford it. And so virtual assistants, and I've stopped calling them now, Philippine-based team members, are the ones that help us to get the foundation that we need. And we have about 8 at the moment in the Philippines. We talk to them every single day online in a Zoom meeting. They have a telephone on their desk. They work from home. Our office, all our team members work from home, but they do as well. So it's been a very easy cultural fit for us as well. They're so loyal. Some have been with us for 10 years. Incredibly honest. I think they have a culture of honesty, educated. So yeah, I certainly would recommend. It's hard to get away with business these days without having 1 or 2 or 3. So yeah, highly recommend it. In terms of values, one of the workshops which Dale went through with us, and he would have recordings for you in the blueprint, and I think it might even be one of the ones that you do early on in the first year, is the values. Now, values, I thought, yeah, like I'm a guy of values. I mean, like I'm okay. I'm not dishonest and that. But then, no, it was a workshop that we went through. How do we create our values? How do we involve our team? What were some of the words we read? Like this is the finished product now. But the whole program around this, that was like a whole workshop that we did, and all of that is up on the Business Blueprint website. And now we based our hiring decisions on values. I know it's kind of cliche and makes sense, but sometimes it's not done. And that's what I love about going back to that story about the basketball camp. It's the accountability, it's the implementation, it's making sure that when you meet someone that's more talented than you, your competitor, that you're ready to play. So Dale, you mentioned there was something else you wanted me to talk about that I haven't.
Yeah, we're sort of running out of time, but this is so awesome. I'm going to just keep talking, but either marketing dashboards or perhaps the Magalog, either of those two.
Okay, Magalog, here's a gold nugget. Please have a look at it here, right here. It's a 40-page magazine. The closest my wife and I have ever come to separation, we not, but the closest we ever came was when she was writing this, because I thought this was going to rescue our business, which it did actually. When times were tough about 5 years ago, it took 6 months to write. It wouldn't take you that long, but I was getting frustrated about how long it was going to take. And I said, we need this Magalog in our hands. What it is, it's a cross between a magazine and a catalog. So it's a Magalog. This is something that Dale talks about and trains people on. The beauty of this is in the numbers again. Somebody books in for a free consult. Overnight Express, we're old school by deliberate design. We put one of these in an express post envelope that cost us, $20 plus a bit of printing, something like that, $20 roughly each. We probably send out about 50 of these per day now. That goes overnight express to the person that's about to have that sales consultation. First of all, they have to book in for a sales consult. So that elevates your position of your salesperson. They're not just answering the phone and it's like a runaway train. We've stopped that energy. They're booking in like you have to book in to talk to a lawyer, an accountant, a doctor. One of these goes in their post, and we've tested the conversion rate. If somebody gets one of these compared to if somebody doesn't, if somebody gets one of these, I'm not telling any fibs here. We've got the numbers, and I can show you the dashboard if you want on my screen. If somebody gets one of these overnight express before the consult, they are 8 times more likely to convert than if they didn't get one of those. So that's another cool factor. Put something in the mail.
That is awesome. 8 times more likely to convert by having a Magalog.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that example. And yes, another thing that we teach through the Business Blueprint program. Colin, we've got maybe time for one more. Anything else that you want to share before we start to wrap up?
Okay. one more tool and then a final thought. So you don't have to, I use grow.com. You don't have to use this, but there's other ones that they talk about on the business. Well, it's actually called My Business Blueprint. Once you become a member, there's access to the website. So there's a lot of different dashboards that you can use. But what I wanted to show you in here is my dashboard. I won't go into all the depth, but on the left-hand side, through thinking and watching the speakers that speak every quarter and the trainings every single week, I thought I need to have a set dashboard, and I need to work on each one of these, because if you know the multiplier effect, if you increase one element, like if you increase the traffic by 10% and you increase your conversion rate, maybe a new photo on your website by 10%, and you increase your sales conversion rate by maybe a magalog by 10%, you don't increase your business by 10%. It's 0.1 times 0.1 times 0.1, and it multiplies out, and you end up doubling your business based on the maths, whatever it is. So on the left-hand side here, how do I increase my traffic? How do I increase my number of leads that are opting in, maybe through the images? Maybe I change my opt-in form. Maybe you don't have a form. Maybe you need help with that. How do I increase my inquiries conversion rate? Maybe you go to I think there's probably 100 videos on sales on the Business Blueprint website that you can give to your sales team to read, or maybe it's you. How do I increase other components of my website that won't really make sense to you? How do I reduce my cost of goods sale? How do I reduce my inventory days? And then if I compound all of those out, so that's a dashboard. Maybe as a last thought about what I've learned. My final thought would be for everybody, thank you for giving up time. Thank you for watching me. I'm not perfect. It's my story, but it's certainly not perfect. And that's what's the beauty about Business Blueprint, is that it's easier. They say I heard John Maxwell say this recently. It's easier to go from failure to success than it is from excuses to success. It's easy to go from failure to success than excuses to success. If you fail and you make excuses, then typically we don't succeed. But if we fail and we get up and we do, and that's been my story. The business hasn't been beautiful for the last 10 years. A lot of it has, but some of it hasn't. But if it wasn't for the continual thread of the Business Blueprint community, I wouldn't have been able to pull it off, because it stopped me making excuses. It made sure I just kept applying, kept working, kept split testing, kept doing all these things that we talk about. I wish you every success. Hopefully I get to see you at an event face-to-face one day. And thank you, Dal.
Colin, that was brilliant. Thank you so much. Let's give Colin a big round of applause. Thank you. Nice work. I love all those stories. And yeah, you can see that there's a number of different elements that you need to succeed in business. And that's the reason why we work together over 12 months, is every single week it's a different topic. So one week we're going to do SEO. Another week we will do content marketing. Another week we're going to do split testing. Another week we're going to do how to recruit top talent, how to hire a virtual assistant, how to create a marketing dashboard for your business. All of these are topics that we cover over the next 12 months, and we'll teach them to you. You'll learn them, and then you implement them into your business. And it's the compounding effect of all of those things that will make a massive difference to your results and your income. So just very quickly, Colin, before we close, if someone was thinking about joining the program but hasn't yet committed, what would your advice or recommendation be for them?
My life would be working in a law firm, in a job, just over broke, commuting. I wouldn't see my beautiful 2-year-old, 5-year-old. I wouldn't have lived 5 months on the Gold Coast in a dream destination that I'd always wanted to do. I hate to think what my life would be like. It would be completely different. It's a no-brainer for me, the Business Blueprint community. If you could just trust me just on one point, and that is the community and the environment and the support that you'll get from the community, let alone Dale, what he does, is worth it just by itself. If you just got the videos and didn't attend any events, just in that is gold. But you've got everything around. It's almost like everything. And I've seen this in 10 years of being at Dale's events, and maybe as one of his friends, having been impacted by him, he wouldn't mind me saying this, but Dale always wants to outdistance himself, and every single quarter he keeps adding more and more and more value, but he doesn't increase the price of the program. So yeah, good on you, Dale.
Thank you so much, Colin. Appreciate that. Let's give Colin again another big round of applause. Thank you so much. So guys, it is time for us to start to wrap up. We've still got one more day to go, but just before we close, you heard from Colin directly about what we offer at Business Blueprint. Some of you I know have been following us for a number of years. Some of you may be only been following us for a few weeks. But what you can see in terms of value, there is no other program anywhere in the world that will offer you what Business Blueprint can. And like Colin said, part of it is the knowledge and the content, which you'll absolutely get. We have so many resources, templates, checklists, videos, all that's covered. But it's the community, it's the environment, it's the support, it's the people. You'll meet people that will become lifelong friends and that will just really bless your life in ways you can't even begin to imagine right now. So do yourself a favor and take action. This is not for me. I don't do this for myself anymore. I do it because I really want to help the next group of entrepreneurs to build their dream life. So if you would like to step up, take your business to the next level, and you want to build a life of meaning and impact and really achieve your goals and dreams, and you're just sick of settling and you don't want to, be average anymore, you really want to kind of go for it and change your world and then change the world around you, you need to take action. So go to the URL right now, businessblueprint.com/apply, fill out the form, and then let's have a chat. We'll get to know each other, and then if it makes sense, we'll start your journey and we'll work with you to change your life like Colin and so many others. We'll give you all the information when you fill out the form. It's all there, ready and waiting for you. All right, well done, everyone. Tomorrow we will be back for our 5th and final day for the Business Blueprint Summit. We've got one more class that I'll be running, which is really all about money. So if you want to make more money, then make sure you come along to tomorrow's training. We'll be talking about money, finance, we're talking about sales. We'll be talking about how to manage your money wisely and also how to build personal wealth so you can achieve financial freedom. So make sure you come along to tomorrow's training. Should be automatically in your diary. And then we have one more awesome interview that we're going to be doing with a lady called Tegan. And she has built an amazing business now doing more than $10 million a year, has more than 200 staff, and she is phenomenal. So she'll be back tomorrow for the final interview. And so make sure that you are there and you'll absolutely love it. So again, all the details are on the website, businessblueprint.com/summit. I want to say a massive big thank you again to Colin. Congratulations to everyone else for being here. And just remember, life rewards action. If there's one thing that I think separates failure from success, it's successful people see a good idea, see an opportunity, and they go for it. They take action. That's exactly what you need to do right now to change your life. So go to the website, businessblueprint.com/apply, complete the form, and then we'll have a chat. Nice work, everyone. Congratulations. Oh, and by the way, someone just asked about the recordings. Yes, what we're going to do is we are recording these sessions and we're going to send them to you. I've just made the decision because so many people have asked. We're going to make the decision to send them to you on either Friday night or Saturday morning. We're going to send the recordings for everything that you've missed so far. And they're only going to be available for 48 hours. Okay, so I'm not just going to give them to you forever because I know what happens if I do that. People just don't watch them. So you need to make sure. Hopefully you've attended most of the sessions, so you've got a lot of the content already. But if there's one you missed, you're going to have the weekend to basically catch up on anything that you've missed. And then after that, we're taking this group of people that have come on board. We'll be working with those people and moving forward. I really hope that you're one of them. All right, time to wrap. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks again, Colin, if you're out there.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.